Go across straight to London, where my colleague Phil is joining us. Phil Miller, keeping a track of the developments as far as the hearing is concerned. Phil, I first want to ask you, tell us in detail what happened when Vijay Mallya brought up the fact that he met Finance Minister of India before he left the country. He said he had a meeting, but before leaving, he met the Finance Minister.
England performed on top.
So, Mr. Mallya, was there a reason that the Finance Minister rejected the offer, your offer? What was it that...
All right, we were trying to replay some of those comments that were made by Vijay Mallya. Phil, if you can still hear me, tell us in detail what happened, exactly what Vijay Mallya said about his meeting with Finance Minister before leaving the country, and when you asked him subsequent questions, further questions on that alleged meeting.
So Vijay Mallya has revealed that he had a meeting with the finance minister before he left India, where he offered to settle all the outstanding debts, and then he was able to leave and go to Geneva. So it seems like there was some kind of certainly political contact at the highest level before he left the country. But now he's saying he's been made into a scapegoat. He has no political friends left. Neither party likes him. But he insists that he can settle this matter, that he has some 15,000 crore rupees available to settle. He'll even pay more than he actually owes. But it's debatable whether anyone really buys his version of events anymore. I mean, certainly the Crown Prosecution Service are still proceeding on the Indian government's request to extradite him to the barracks in Arthur Jail in Mumbai. They've seen a video of the prison. The judge has seen a video of the prison, but the journalists haven't been shown it. But Vijay Mallya said it's an extraordinary video. It's very impressive, were the words he uses. So they seem to have done a lot of work to make the jail even impress someone like Vijay Mallya, who's clearly used to a very high level of luxury in his lifestyle. But so now they've turned the focus in court back onto these financial arguments, and his lawyer is saying that he's never done anything dishonest in this case, that he never took out loans that he didn't intend to repay, and that he never overvalued his personal wealth or the wealth of the company, of Kingfisher Airlines and its brand. So he's certainly still coming out fighting, and he actually looked very relaxed in court, almost bored at one point when his lawyer was speaking. He seems to think that there's he can win this argument just judging from his body language. And clearly, if he's had some sort of political contact as well at such a high level as a finance minister, perhaps that's what's giving him... He's a complete...
Well, this is so
showman.
much public posturing, isn't it? Also the kind of questions, the kind of platform that... Well, I just wanted to ask you, isn't there so much public posturing? The way he's suddenly playing to the galleries, the way he's playing a scapegoat now, and coming as it is at a time when we're asking him strong questions, we would rather go on what the CPS, the Crown Prosecution Service, stated in the court just before they got up for break. Mallya did not intend to honor his personal guarantees. How good is the argument now being made by India's side? Because finally, at 2 o'clock London time, we are going to hear India's side. The video's been shown. We've done everything that the judge wanted. Finally, it's time for India to speak up, because Mallya's just playing to the galleries, playing to the media there, almost like a Lutyens type media who's there, sitting there, eating up and trying to tell him, we are your fair weather friends. What is this kind of language they are speaking? What are they trying to ask him from, where he's trying to give out his side of the story? He's playing victim. He's staying in a palatial house in Devon, but he continues to play the victim card, Phil.
Oh, completely. I mean, he knows how the game works. He knows that if he's sort of friendly to journalists, then he thinks he'll get sort of favourable treatment. And I think he's trying to distract from what the Crown Prosecution Service was saying in court just before we came out here, where they said that he'd taken out...
English petitions, England performed on top.
So, Mr. Mallya, was there a reason that the Finance Minister rejected the offer? the offer, what was it that...
Mr. Mallya,
You want to pay off your debts, but this is a charge they've been asking you, and they want to get you back on that.
Mr. Mallya, I saw you nodding in disagreement and a little bit of frustration when Summers was making his statements. What is it that you didn't agree with, or that was bothering you? I did see you. I was constantly looking at you, and you were like, no. What was it? Please share with us.
I obviously don't agree with anything that the prosecution is alleging.
Have you seen the video?
Any particular thing?
We poured over 4,000 crores into Kingfisher Airlines to keep it flying. The allegation seems to be the other way around. Let the court decide.
All right. Remember, just a short while ago, Vijay Mallya has made this statement that he met the finance minister before.
Very impressive.
Very impressive.
The video is impressive.
What did you like of it?
See it for yourself.
Is it true there's like a library and all these things that the media said?
You should take a look.
They haven't shown it to us actually.
Are they going to play that video in the court?
I don't know. That's from the judge.
Do you like to read about things? Do you read a lot or? She just mentioned the library.
Did it take you by surprise, the videos? You said they were impressive, but do you believe the video?
I'll leave it to you to make your own judgment.
We haven't been able to see the video though, sir. Do you think they've doctored the video at all?
I don't know. I'm sitting there as much as you're sitting there.
You've seen the video though, sir. We haven't been able to.
Ask for it, I'm sure it's
Yeah.
last.
We've asked for it. They haven't given it to us.
Vijay, when Rahul Gandhi was here pressing the flesh, he had a little pop at you as well. It can't be much fun having leaders of both sides making an enemy of you, no?
I've said before, I'm a political football, and there's nothing that I can do about it. My conscience is clear. I've put almost 15,000 crores worth of assets on the table in front of the Honorable High Court of Karnataka, and I have nothing much more to say, other than I hope that the court will favorably consider my application, pay off everyone, and end of story.
But to have no friends left in high places, that must be painful.
Mr. Mallya, do you think if the court is dragged until after the India's general election that you might be able to live a more peaceful life and that you might be forgotten?
How can I speculate on that?
No, I mean, because it's been said continuously that you are being made a scapegoat for India's general election.
I am certainly a scapegoat. I feel like a scapegoat. But how can I speculate on it?
Did somebody tip you off?
Your colleague, Jonathan, says that both political parties don't like me. Where is the question? I lose both ways, right?
How do you compare yourself to Miracle? Do you think he's a totally different kettle of fish?
I have no knowledge of any allegations against anybody else, and I'd rather focus on my own issues.
Mr. Mallya, did somebody tip you off in Parliament about people going after you, about you being targeted, or the fact that there could be charges against you? Is that the reason that you left the country? That's an allegation that's been made, that you got tipped off. You were allowed to leave the country.
Rahul Gandhi said that, actually, at the event.
I left because I had a scheduled meeting in Geneva. I met the finance minister before I left, repeated my offer to settle with the banks. That's the truth.
Why would somebody deny an offer to be paid, Mr. Mallya? I mean, after all, you were a member of the parliament and you were holding very high place in the Indian parliament. So, I mean, why would anybody not accept your offer of payment?
It might interest you to know that the banks have filed objections in the court on my settlement applications. You should ask them why they are not supporting me in my efforts to repay them. That's the better way of looking at things.
And now you're offering them way more than what you actually owe them. Why are you offering them more, and why you think they are denying to accept that money?
Couldn't possibly operate 482 flights a day on thin air.
So can you tell us a bit about the meeting with your finance minister? You said you had something, you had a word with him. What was that about? And was it more like a general view about the whole?
Why should I be telling you this?
But that was done before you came to UK, of course.
Don't forget, I've been living here since 1992. Coming to the UK was nothing unusual.
All right, Swapnil Kothari, lawyer, and Dr. Vikram Singh, our contributor, former DGP, also joining us on the show. Phil Miller continues to be with us. Let me go across to Vikram Singh first. Vikram Singh, you know, the government has accepted that he left India on 2nd March 2016, and he was already declared a willful defaulter by the consortium of banks by that time. He accepted there that the banks had raised some objections to his settlement offer at the time as well. Is Vijay Mallya deliberately trying to bring some political angle into this now, saying that I met the finance minister, I offered to settle as well? Remember, he was member of parliament at the time. He used his diplomatic passport very swiftly to get away from India when he sniffed that there are proceedings that are being initiated against him. He's no victim here.
So very much. Vijay Mallya continues to be as slippery and evasive as ever. He has used every trick in his bundle of dirty tricks, like saying that political parties don't like him. 2, I see no reason why the political parties should fall in love with him. Second, he says that I have done no wrong. Obviously, he has done the worst kind of financial fraud. Then he said that he met the finance minister. That doesn't cut any ice also. Meeting the finance minister does not absolve him of all his fraudulent activities and criminal antecedents. And the last but not the least, he said that I have submitted certain submissions, but the banks have not agreed to take it on face value. Do you think for a moment that the banks will take and sign on the dotted line on all the nonsense that you write? You are a fugitive of justice. And you should, if you are so sure of yourself, you should come back to the country and face the charges leveled against you. But you don't have it in you. You are raising red herrings here and there. If you have it in you, please come back to the country. We in India are the largest democracy and also a very vibrant judicial system. Make no mistake, we do not hound anyone, but at the same time, the law is very unsparing.
Yes, Swapnil Kothari is also with us. Swapnil, you know, he's obviously trying to pass the buck on to the banks as well as the government. Remember, you know, there were proceedings against him already initiated. The fact still continues to be that he left the country. when he knew that there are proceedings to be initiated against him, maybe somebody tipped him off. That has been the suspicion for a very long time. But bringing the government into this, especially the finance minister, how do you read into that? He seems to be trying to, bring some political color into this and put everyone on the back foot and put the blame on everyone else that they are not accepting my settlement offer. Well, they are not waiting for him to just make an offer to be accepted, isn't it?
Absolutely. See, the very fact that you bring a finance minister into the equation is an attempt that to try to hoodwink the people. It doesn't really matter in law, even if he took the tip from the finance minister that I want to leave this country. It does not detract from the fact that he owed money to the banks and he escaped. So what matters in law at the end of the day is that you hoodwinked the banks, you defrauded them up to some 9,000 crores, you have not paid them, and you need to come back to this country to face trial and face justice. Now, what is the impediment here? The barrack number 12. Whether that satisfies the UK court or not. That is the point. Now, if it does, in my opinion, I think it will, given the political pressure, given the legal pressure, given the extraordinary job that the Crown Prosecution Service has done on behalf of the Indian government to try to bring Mallya to justice. I think there should be no problem at all in trying to bring him back to this country. So whether he, offered money to the banks, whether he spoke to the finance minister, and even if the finance minister advised him legally that, look, by the way, you can go back. I mean, you can escape from this country because at the moment there is no warrant against you to leave the country or anything. There is no bar on you. You can always travel like a free citizen. That's your fundamental right. So that doesn't really matter. What matters at the end of the day is whether you are liable for the money that you've cheated people from. And if that is the case, then you will face trial, and when you come back, you will definitely have to face the people and definitely live in barrack number 12, that's for sure.
It's crazy what Mallya is asking for, Swapnil, and that's exactly what Vikram Singh is also telling us. But Phil, the question that we want to ask you, it's absolutely crazy the kind of demands that Vijay Mallya is making outside court. Why this public posturing at this time? He knows India has a good case. India's case is about to begin at 2 o'clock Britain time, but also the kind of things that he's saying. A civil case has been criminalized. The point is, this is a case of money laundering. Republic TV has been putting out the kind of money laundering that has been done. He earlier on says, keep dreaming about millions of pounds. He earlier now plays the victim card. He's also attacked the Indian Supreme Court. He's attacked the CBI. He says, I met the finance minister at that time. He escaped in the lap of luxury. How is someone trying to understand this when he's also attacking the jail conditions? And we've seen the 8-minute video is very clear that this is a video that shows there is a courtyard for him, there are pillowcases, there is a mattress, there is a bed, there is a very clear toilet. The point is, barrack number 12, Arthur Road Jail, is waiting for Vijay Mallya. He can reflect there about his billions of dollars in the palatial Tevin where he's staying, Phil.
Rhythm, it's very
clear. Remember, if you're trying to understand what's happened today, is that we were expecting this morning to be all about the prison conditions in Barrack 12. When instead what happened is we weren't shown the video at all in court, and Mallya's lawyer really didn't want to go into the prison conditions in any detail at all, which suggests that actually the video shows the prison conditions are as good as the Indian authorities say they are, and that won't be a barrier to extradition. So instead, his lawyers went into a lot of detail on the finances, and then you saw Mallya come back outside and start saying he's got all this money and he can settle it. When again, the issue isn't how much money he has, it's the fact that these are now criminal charges about money laundering and so on. So I think he wasn't, he was hoping that this extradition could be stopped on the basis of the prison conditions. It doesn't look like that's likely now, and instead he's trying to say that he can settle it with his £1.5 billion fortune that he still has.